Welcome to the Hasn't Been 3 Days podcast with your hosts, Justin and BJ. We talk about 3-day-old news, sports, and whatever else we want to talk about. You, the MVP listener, you listen in, you laugh. You might cry, maybe not. Maybe you like our takes. Maybe you agree with them. Maybe you shake your fist at us. I don't know. But if you hate our takes, just wait until it's been 3 days before you let us know. You can let us know by emailing the email box, number 3dayoldpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out there. Check us out on our socials, Facebook, Instagram. Check out Justin's reels that he produces. It's pretty awesome. But we're back at it for another week. Justin, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I've been battling some kind of sinus infection or something. I don't know. It's annoying, but I think we're on the back end. Other than that, though, it's been pretty good. Been pretty good. Weather's been nice around here, so that's been decent starting the fall season. So,
well, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, but I'm glad the weather's been not surprisingly good here. We were just talking about that tonight too.
So we're like old people. We talk about weather all the time.
You know, we're going to get into this in a minute, but I started a new job this week, and one of the things we were sitting there looking out the windows, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and then it didn't rain, and it was really nice, and it was like, oh, then it's never going to stop for the next 500 days in Oregon and all this stuff, but it's been really nice. So yeah, it's been.
I think that's just
happy accident.
I think that's just one of the topics that I think as you get older, it's like the one conversation starter.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's not polarizing that you can just talk about, and it is what it is.
It shouldn't start any outrage. Right. Like, oh, it's really nice outside. No, it's not. I mean, it's not going to start that way.
It doesn't start outrage like talking about Chiefs football.
No, jeez. Yeah, you better get it in now.
You know, I said last week, I wanted to teach. I've taught my kids to try to be gracious in winning and gracious in losing, and there's sometimes that you just have to let it fly a little bit, and that is. I'm struggling even right now to be like, rub it in your face kind of way. But I mean, people can't see this, but on my screen it says number one feels so good. And I mean, it feels so good to be number one. So we'll get into that a little bit later. I got more to say about that, but
yeah, I mean, football in general was good all weekend. And so it's always fun to watch. And, when you're looking at our picks, I sometimes forget what I pick. And then unless it's Nebraska winning by 10, it is what it is. Got to watch Nebraska volleyball. Oh, I watched Nebraska volleyball. They played this weekend. They finally lost a set.
Yeah. Was it 15 straight matches?
Jeez.
Or 20? How many straight sets? 25 straight sets?
No. 40 something. It was like 49 or 52, somewhere in that range.
Dang. That's a lot.
They hadn't lost since September, a set, when they lost to, I believe, Creighton, if I remember correctly. But and then they just came out and dominated right after that, and then they had a match. They played UCLA and USC this last weekend, and then just came out and dominated USC. So I think when they said when they interviewed Danny Busboom Kelly, she said, "Yeah, I think we just kind of needed. I think we were just getting a little ahead of ourselves." And so
she's so down to earth, and she's just kind of chill about it. But I remember thinking when she took the job, I watched her press conference, and I think you sent it to me, and so I watched it. And she went from a top 5 program in Louisville back to her home alma mater and a top 5 program. And so usually when a coach does that in any sport, there's not going to be like a huge. You kind of wonder how the transition might be. I mean, obviously she had Nebraska ties. She was an assistant coach here after she played, and then went over to Louisville and all the things. But I thought, she's just she's good at what she does. She wouldn't have been a top 5 coach at Louisville if she wasn't good at it. So she should be able to handle the Nebraska pressure, and she has. And not only that, they've been number one, and she's just like, you know what? Yeah, we're number one, but we're going to go out there and we're going to play good volleyball, and we're going to play hard. And if we need to switch things up, we're going to switch things up. And she just doesn't, it doesn't bother her to go out there and make adjustments, coaching adjustments. What a novel idea! Golly,
And I mean, they have so much talent too that their second team could probably just dominate all the time. And she just for I mean for some of this stuff, she just throws in a different lineup just to see how they'll react. And it's just like, well, that's how you get to know your team, and you know your team really well that you can do that. And
yeah.
it's amazing to watch. It's amazing they can throw in a freshman, and it's like, yeah, no big deal.
Well, and that's just you said what I was trying to say. You articulated it better. I mean, when you try to mix things up and you throw in to get to know your players, especially in this day and age of the transfer portal and all that's going on there, it's like you've got to play them. You got
Yeah.
to play everybody, especially when you're a top level team like that. Otherwise, they're going to go somewhere else and play.
And the crazy thing too is Nebraska volleyball. Everywhere they go, every arena or wherever they're playing, they're setting attendance records. Like Nebraska has top 2 attendance records when they're at home and on the road. Because every place after a match when they're on the road says, like UCLA this weekend after the match on Friday night, they're like, oh, we set a new attendance record. You're like, yeah, you should have seen the line outside waiting to get in for, so it's kind of cool to see women's sports having that and the attraction. It's kind of cool that Nebraska's, tagging along behind that and being a part of that. So
yeah. And we're going to jump out of sports here in a minute, but I wanted to just touch on what you said pre-show, and I'm giving credit to Justin for making us aware. But we talk Husker football because for so many years, decades, eons, Husker football was the only thing that Nebraska people sports-wise had anything to look forward to. There's no pro team in Nebraska. It's Nebraska football, but Nebraska volleyball is number one. They've been number one most, if not all, the season.
all year
And
so far.
yeah, and Nebraska basketball, you just informed me that they have the longest current winning streak in men's basketball right now at 8 games in a row because they finished last year 4-0. They're winning their last 4 games and winning that tournament, and then starting this year 4-0. So 8 in a row for Fred Hoiberg and the Husker basketball team. So
Yeah, it's something to look forward to. Now we just need to get that basketball team to win a game in March. And I think everybody would just be happy.
or win a game in conference.
Well, no, they'll do that this year.
Yeah, it's the Big Ten. I think as we look about the dust settling on conference realignment, I think I said this a few weeks ago. At the time, good for Nebraska to go to the Big Ten, but I just don't know that they fit in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And that's just me being real.
Well, it's over now because it's not going to go backwards. So
I know, but I mean, for them it's not, but for some it has. I mean, Colorado left and they're back in the Big 12, and
yeah, that was a money grab.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm
saying.
Well,
but the Pac-12 was folding fast.
Absolutely.
Really fast.
There's reasons for it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying teams, I mean, even look in the Big Ten, I know the Big Ten is one of the top 5 that's going to be its own league or their own pro sports, whatever, here before too long. But, I mean, there's no reason for Rutgers and Maryland to be in the Big Ten. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, academics.
No.
That's what we care about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Academics pays the bills. Yep.
Speaking of academics, we finally wised up and, the government shutdown ended.
Yeah. So before we go any further, just this segment is brought to you by Vivid Sign Co.
Oh, Vivid Sign Co.
As we talk about 3-day-old news today.
Wowzers.
Sorry, Josh, if I'm getting in trouble for that.
We're going to pressure him into all this. We just got to say nice things about the Raiders right after it.
Yeah. No, it's 3-day-old news. Yeah, it's government shutdown's over, finally, longest in history. And
then they stopped making the pennies.
Okay, so here's my take on the penny. Like it was costing more to print the penny than it's worth.
I think I feel like we talked about this last year, didn't we? Like we thought this was going to happen.
We did.
Yeah. But it actually.
So, in the words of Tony Kornheiser, we had this.
We had this. Yeah.
But here's my question though, because I said this. The first thing I said when we read this headline to my wife was, This is fine if you're going to do this. And they're going to keep them in circulation, I'm sure, until I don't know when. I mean, I've got a whole jar full of pennies, but they're still tender, right?
Yeah.
But if
Yes.
you're going to do this, then that means every retail, every monetarily place, you cannot have anything that is a single digit denomination anymore. Everything has to be in multiples of 5 now.
But they're not going to. They're going to, like, some places are using this roundup method.
That's
like,
fine too. But you're
like-
rounding up to a round number,
Well,
not
and-
a single
yeah.
digit, is what
No,
I'm
that's
saying.
true. Yeah.
So you got to have everything that's at least a 5 or a 10. You can't do anything different. So if I go to the store and my meal costs me $3.98, you can't do that anymore.
Nope. It's going to cost you $4. You can't be mad about that?
No, because we already do that in Oregon because there's no tax. So a lot of places will just there's no sales tax.
Sales tax, yeah.
So a lot of places will do that. They'll just list things as whole numbers so that you're not paying cent denominations.
Well, in Oregon, they can just get rid of all cents then. Just get rid of all coins.
They've gotten rid of all cents.
Yeah, well, yeah. Those cents, right?
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace, the penny. Hopefully you'll stick around for a little while.
Do you know which president was on the penny?
Do I?
Yeah.
Isn't it Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Lincoln.
He only gets a rest in peace now that his penny is gone.
Oh my gosh. To all my Illinois fans out there. Here's the thing about Lincoln. This is we lived in Illinois for a total of almost 7 years. And Illinois, there are people in Illinois, you either love Lincoln or you hate him. And where we lived in Pittsfield, Illinois, in Pike County, Lincoln practiced law in Pike County.
Okay.
For a little while. He actually, I don't know if he owned one of the homes or he rented a room in one of the homes, and he would travel from Springfield to Pittsfield, because Springfield was where is the capital, and it's where all the government stuff is at, obviously. But he would when he was a lawyer, he would practice in Pike County, and so he would come and stay in Pittsfield, and then practice in the courthouse there in Pittsfield, and do all of his law practice stuff there. But because of his past, people, when you hear his story, people either love him or they hate him out there. So I guess that's.
I didn't realize that about Pittsfield and Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Now you know.
There's somebody who, well, actually, the fun fact, my new dentist, who's helped take care of my who fixed my cap, my Morning Glory Dentistry. His name is Lincoln. He just had a son. You know what he named him?
Abraham.
Abe.
Nice.
I saw that this week. I was like, that's pretty sweet. So.
Well, then there's those ties between Lincoln and Kennedy. You've heard
all
of those.
Oh,
things,
100%.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, those are interesting. It's probably a conspiracy of some sort.
Maybe, yeah.
We should become a conspiracy podcast. What do you think about that? You think that would get us very far?
Maybe we could get Erica Kirk to come on.
We could. Interesting.
Or we could get oh, you know, what was that English teacher at East High's name?
Mr. Baker?
No. The one that was the soccer coach that did all the
Hoham?
Hoham.
Yeah.
We could have Hoham on and talk about Back and to the Left with the Kennedy assassination.
Didn't he rewind the video all the time?
He had a little, like, a bust of Kennedy's head.
Oh, that's right.
And he would stand at the front of the room and he's like, back and to the left, back and to the left. That's a really bad impersonation.
Oh,
but it was bad. It was bad. But I will say this about Mr. Hoham. What was his first name?
Jeff.
I think
it was Jeff Hoham.
Jeff Hoham. He was a soccer and tennis, wasn't he? Did he coach tennis too?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he did.
His soccer teams were really good when we were back in that day. Anyway, Jeff Hoham, shout out to Mr. Hoham, East High Spartans. When I dropped out of high school, high school. I can't wait to go to high school. Sorry.
If peeing your pants was cool.
Um,
Anyways, when you dropped out of high
so
school,
when I dropped out of high school, you had to go and have every teacher sign your drop slip, and just because it was part of the law, I guess. I don't know. So when I dropped out, I went into his class after class one day, and he looked at me, and I was a quiet kid. I mean, he didn't know me from anybody, but I walked in. I said, "Mr. Holm, can you sign my drop slip?" And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm dropping out of school. I'm gonna homeschool." He's like, "Is this your choice or religious reasons or your family?" I said, "No, it's my choice. I'm just tired of wasting time in school, and I'd rather work full time and do my school on my own time." He's like, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah." So, but he actually cared. He like took a minute and didn't just sign the form. He kind of looked at me and cared. So, shout out to Mr. Hoham. Thanks for caring about a student that you really didn't even know. So,
well, yeah, you, the fact, I mean, still impressionable on you about how somebody handles a situation like that, especially when there's a lot of kids that just drop out and don't do anything.
speaking of that,
Speaking of dropping out or not going to
no,
classes,
no,
what?
just being respectable. Like,
Yeah.
where has our world come that we can't just give some decent respect to each other? Like,
Do
why
you
do
think?
people have to be such, yeah, bad words?
Um, it's because we have this thing in our hands all the time and a keyboard that we can say whatever we want, so we feel like that can translate to real life and to people's faces. Um, yeah. I don't know. Is this another thing? Like, did our parents say that? Like, did their parents say about that about them? Like, these kids are not respectable anymore. Do you think it's a
Well,
generational thing?
it may be, but it's not just generational. I'm not talking about kids here. I'm talking
Yeah.
about adults.
No, you're right.
I mean, I hear some of these stories that our kids tell us about school, about where they're at, and just some of the teachers and how they talk to students, how they talk to each other, the expectations, like just the entitlement and the narcissistic tendencies of our society, which I totally blame social media for that and the selfie. I mean, if we're going to be so consumed with our likes and our posts and all these things, that's why we have this entitled narcissistic tendency view of our world. But I'm just like, why can't we just be respectful of each give somebody the benefit of the doubt for a change?
Well, yeah, and we kind of already said it. It's the access to information that we feel is right all the time. That because we read it on a post or we read it on the headline of Google,
Yeah.
internet.com, kind of one of those things that's the truth, and everything that we see, we just take that and go with it.
Yep.
I don't know. You're right though. I mean, some of these, yeah, I don't know. Parents, I mean, some parents are getting pretty bad out there. That just, that just, there's, I don't know. Some of it is just getting so involved with their kids' stuff. Like kids, like I let my kids have a lot of freedom. Um, and I see it from parents who are just like, they hover on, especially with sports, right? It just gets worse when it's sports related sometimes. They just kind of hover and be a part of all of it, and then they feel like they should have a say in everything.
Mm-hmm.
But what do they call those, helicopter parents when it
Yeah.
comes to sports? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just too laid back. Maybe I should be more strict on my kids. I think they'd go for that.
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever you
maybe.
got to do.
Nah. I
Well,
mean,
you have good kids.
yeah, they turned out well. They're doing well. So
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to be said about that. I think about the whole idea of, I mean, I always taught my kids too when they were in school and whatever. It's like if if a teacher comes to me with an issue that you are having at school that's not grades related and it's behavior or it's something that's happened, I think parents nowadays, I mean, we don't respect our teachers, but at the same time, it's the same thing happened in the church. I mean, families and parents expect when our kids are at school, they expect the teachers to raise them to some
Yeah.
degree. When they send them to church, they expect the people at church to raise them. But the reality of it is, as parents, we are supposed to raise our kids. We are supposed to be the ones feeding into them. We're the ones that are supposed to teach them and, train up a child in the way they should go. And in the end, they won't depart from it. Well, that's not just about putting them on the right path to success. It's about learning, having relationship with your kids and teaching them right from wrong, teaching them how to respect other people and teaching them how to be aware and self-aware. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I just hounded my kids, be aware of your surroundings.
Oh yeah,
Know
100%.
where you're at, read the room, be aware. If you're in somebody's way, say excuse me and get out of their way.
Yeah.
Be polite, use your manners. And now, my kids come back to me now and they're like, Dad, I'm so glad you were kind of strict on us and hard on us in this area, because there are so many people that it's just like they're not like that at all they care about is themselves, and it's just it's bad.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Yeah, all the things that you talk about are things that I've tried to instill in just little things. Like we try to do, especially like cell phones. Like when we're having dinner together, they stay out. They stay away. Like we do stuff like Mad Libs. Like when we go to dinner, when we go out to dinner, what we take inside is Mad Libs, and we sit there as a family and do Mad Libs. It is so much fun. We have fun. People probably look at us like, but then there's times where people are like, "What's going on?" But then there's times it's like my kids over the years, when they were younger, they used to say it a lot. They'd always be like, Dad, look at that table over there. They're just not talking to each other. They're just all buried in their phones. And I was like, yep. And sometimes we didn't have a lot of things to talk about, but we made things and had fun with it. And we still do that. We still have Mad Libs that are in the door of the pocket of the cars for those moments. So
Yep.
that was one of our things to try to. I never wanted to be like, oh, here's an iPad, quiet while we're eating. And if you couldn't be quiet, then if you couldn't behave while you're out, then it affected the whole family, not just I took you out, had a conversation, we come back, and if that was it, then we left. And so it's kind of like a team at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And that's part of society. We've helped. You got to be intentional in that, because we've aided in it by giving our kids cell phones at whatever age we choose to give them to them, and we do these things, and then they get caught up in it. And so we do these things because we need to talk to our kids when they're not with us, and all these things, safety reasons, all the parent reasons we do it. But it becomes a trap. It's a double-edged sword. So then if you're not intentional, like the things you're saying, good kudos to you guys. That's awesome. I mean, we used to take our kids out and it was like, yeah, we're going to talk. Later on, we talked about how are we going to bless somebody, and do it as a family. And I know you've done some of those things. I've been a recipient of your family's blessings. And so those things are cool when you can incorporate it with all the kids, it's just fun. So,
Yeah. Well, no, 100%. And life skills too. On top of that, because like my kids, I'd always teach them basic like tipping life skills, how to do it, how to calculate it. And my kid Brenton would always just grab the receipt and be like, "Okay, Dad, what are we tipping?" And I was like, "I don't know. How well do they do?" Okay, let's figure it out. And he would always be like, "I'll tell you what we're tipping." I was like, "All right."
That's cool. That's really cool.
One time he carried a decimal too far and it was about 200%, but we were good. No, it wasn't that bad. but it's just like little things like that. Just little things. Just judging based off someone's taking care of you. And society now about tipping is everything, right? Like literally, like you go get things off the shelf, you check it out, but you're supposed to tip the company that you're buying it from. That's such a weird thing. So, tipping after COVID has gotten to be a little weird.
Yeah.
Some of those DoorDash Reddits or stories about people's food people are just not delivering them because they're not giving them too much tip money. I don't know. I've never door dashed. Never worked for one, so I don't know. I mean, my understanding is that you pick the ones that you want
Mhm.
to take, so
Yeah.
you should already know what the tip is. So what are you making a big deal about it? So,
Yep.
but whatever.
And it's competitive to where if you're not taking it just to get whatever tips there, then you're not going to get one. So
Yeah,
at least in
it's
our
true.
area.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been in a position where I've had to DoorDash, so or wanted to. I guess it's probably because I didn't want to have to spend extra money for something that's right down the street. So,
Yeah,
and I have a private jet, so that makes a difference.
that helps for
Yeah.
sure. Very, very much so.
Fly in and get a pizza for wherever and come back home. Oh gosh, I wish that was a problem.
Well, I want to transition if we can.
Yeah.
I just want to first of all, I just want to say thank you to all of our guests lately and recently. Both Josh Gonzalez and Josh from Vivid Sign Co. And then last week having Cassie on. It's been fun. And so you're only getting us tonight, but that's all right. We have a couple updates. I have an update I need to share because I've been told people that actually listen to the show do care and want to know. And you kind of hinted at it last week, but we had a guest, and so I don't want to take that time. But for all of you that have been praying for me and thinking about me, appreciate it. I finally got a job, and so I started last week with.
Oh, do we need to hang on a second? Do we need a drum roll or something?
Nah,
Oh,
it's not.
okay.
Not that. I'm trying to even decide if I want to share who it's with.
Well, you can. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I got a job. I am still being recruited for a different job, but I am working for. Um, got I got my insurance license, another one of them, and am going to be working for an insurance agent, and looking forward to that. And so it's been a good first week, and getting ready to start the next week. But we got something lined up, and so we're. Thank you for the prayers and the well wishes and all the good things. Keep praying. We've got some things still in the works, but yeah, I'm excited. So
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you. I think you could say who it's with.
yeah,
Because I'm going to ruin it by saying, oh, well, it's not. You're going back to a company that you have your old email address. Like you have it all. Your company that you hadn't worked there for what, 20 years?
2003, 2004.
22, 20. So let's just say 21 years.
21 years. Here's what's really cool. So yeah, I work for Chad Elder State Farm. So shout out to Chad Elder and his office in Portland. And so yeah, 21 years ago, I started in underwriting in Lincoln, Nebraska for State Farm, and started working there before I moved to Kansas to go back to school and really go back into ministry and all the things. But State Farm was so good to me even in that short time I was with them, because when I gave my 2-week notice to go back to school and go back home to my parents, they said, we know you would have fulfilled your 2 weeks. We're just going to pay you out. Go ahead and get moved and focus on that. And they paid out my 2-week notice, like 21 years ago. Who does that, right?
Yeah.
But the thing with State Farm, as you're mentioning, is, and this is really cool because I'm going to get a little sappy for a minute, because since I resigned from the church in 2023, it's been hard to find stable work for various reasons, and we won't go into that. But there's been a lot of things that have just cut down my credibility, cut down my character, slander, and that's not an extreme word. That's exactly what happened. There was slander
100% it
and
is.
lies, and so it's been hard to. My dad keeps saying, you just need to get back on your feet. Once that happens, it's like we can't even get on our knees yet before to get on our feet. But anyway, so State Farm does something in their email. Everybody gets an alias. That's not rocket science. A lot of companies do that. But my alias was a 4-digit alias. And that's because it was 21 years ago. So now
hey, I had a four
you did.
digit. I had a 4-digit alias too. So
So
Yes.
I got on with Chad's office, and Chad was setting it up through State Farm because when you work for an agent office, you're not an employee of State Farm, but you interact with State Farm and as State Farm. And so they assign you your alias and your email. And so when he put in my name to corporate to get my email address, they came back and like, oh, he's already been in the system. And they gave me my old alias. But here's the really cool thing. So I have the same alias, same email, just as Justin just said. But what my agent told me was that nowadays people kind of judge you based on your alias
Like
length.
how long? Yeah,
How
it shows you
long?
how long you've been there.
And I walked into his office. He goes, "Man, I'm so jealous of your alias." And I'm like, "Why is that?" He goes, "It's 4 digits." And I said, "So?" He's like, "Mine's 6 digits."
Yeah.
He goes, "It looks like you've been with the company for 21 years." And I'm like, so what's really cool, and I'm going to over spiritualize this for a minute, but I was in my last therapy session and I was talking to my counselor about it and telling him the good news. And he goes, "Well, how does that make you feel?" And I said, because this other person kind of said this to me, he goes, it gives you like instant credibility
Yeah.
when you're talking to people about agency and you're talking to people about what you're doing, and they look at you and they're an insider. They know what you're talking shop with them.
Yeah.
You get instant credibility because they think you have all this longevity there. And so I told my counselor, I said, I feel like the prodigal son's just been handed his ring from his father and said, "You know what? We believe in you. We trust you. You're back home. This is where you're supposed to be. Here's your credibility back." And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm in the office, and when he shows a list of all the aliases, it looks like I've been there 21 years. And
Like, this
really
is
cool.
Chad's office? Okay. No,
Yeah.
but no, it sounds like this guy's a pretty awesome guy. It sounds like he's wanting to really pour into you, especially about what other future opportunities could come down the line later on. Yeah, I mean, that's all about the State Farm life and growing it. I mean, I was a part of it just shy of 10 years before I left for work-life balance issues. And I know that's not an excuse for what goes on, but I would have stayed at State Farm if they didn't make some interesting choices on their claim centers. But yeah, it's hard to think about it too, because if I would have stuck around, I would be 20 years plus.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really cool. I reached out to our friend Jeff, and he's still with State Farm. He and I started there, I think, at the same time, close to. And when I sent him a message, I noticed his alias, and I was like, "Yeah, I think we were in the same class there." So
Were you guys in the same class?
I think so. I think if not, we were pretty close. But I think we
Because
started pretty close
you
together.
started about, because I followed you to State Farm after leaving Nelnet.
Yep.
You were there for maybe 6 months or so before I got there, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't at Nelnet very long. I think I stayed at Nelnet not very long. I don't remember.
LOL and Cube.
LOL and Cube.
So, did you work at Nelnet with Jeff and I both when we?
No.
Would we all? So it was just you and me.
Just me and you.
Okay,
I'm
because
pretty sure.
I worked at Nelnet with Jeff as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Jeff, because Jeff never went to lunch with us or anything.
No, because Jeff was the one that introduced me to Chipotle.
Okay.
Chipotle had just opened in downtown Lincoln, and Jeff was also the person that introduced me to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
And so we would go on our lunch breaks, and he's like, "Hey, let's go try out this burrito place." And I'm like, "Okay." And I didn't really want a burrito, but I went with Jeff. And so I get there, and I just ordered the tacos, and I was like, "This is just tacos. This isn't really, it's nothing to write home about." And then I realized, hey, you don't have to get it in a burrito. You can get it in a bowl. And I'm like, holy
Yeah.
smokes, this is a lot of food. So
Yeah.
I love Chipotle. It's one of my favorites now. So thanks, Jeff.
Chipotle is a staple in my lunch.
Yeah.
It is easy to order, easy to grab, and get back in a half hour. No complaints here. Quality of the food's always. I've never had problems with Chipotle. They're the one place that I haven't had problems with.
I've had problems with them, but I think it's more locale and ownership of that store than it is like the brand. But yeah. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I just wanted to make that update. If you need, if you're in Oregon and you need an insurance quote, look me up.
Are you in the white pages?
I don't know.
Are you in the yellow pages?
I don't think so.
Are there phone books in Oregon still?
Well, I mean, trees are a renewable resource in Oregon, so maybe they still make phone books. I don't know.
You haven't seen a phone book around?
No,
What was the last pay phone you saw?
I've seen one recently, actually.
In town
No,
or in Portland?
no,
Maybe when you. Oh,
it might have been in Portland. It might have been. It seemed like I was traveling somewhere and I saw it was. I saw one in South Carolina. I saw
oh,
an active, or it was still in use, payphone on the beach in South Carolina, like on the beach
yeah.
front walkway. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
I don't even know the last time I saw a payphone.
yeah.
I think I saw
Well,
Superman come out of it, but I don't know the last
you
time I saw.
hold one because you pay for the phone that you
Oh,
use. Cha-dunk-ching. It's funny because our kids,
what's
we talk
their
about
old things like this?
not payphones, but like when we have a smart TV, and so when we go in there and we're looking for a show or searching a movie, and it says free with subscription, and all my kids are like, then it's not free because you're subscribing to the service. So yeah,
Yeah, there are. It's interesting. My kids will pick up on like old things that I had no idea that they knew about, or old songs. Like I listen to older music, or I find a reel that has like, oh, you remember this song from the 2000s or the early 90s, and I'll be listening to them, and especially Bree, she really likes music, but she'll pick up on these things, and she'll like, oh yeah, I've heard that song. Oh yeah, I've heard, or just like little things of things that have gone away. That
mm-hmm.
technology's kind of disappeared on what things are. I'm surprised that my kids actually know what some of that stuff is. It's kind of interesting. So, but maybe it's because I've taken them to so many old museums and stuff. They pick up on that.
That could be.
So,
Yeah. Well,
well,
speaking of current technology, and it could have worked back in the day, but yet kids are just enamored with it. The game Minecraft. I mean, that game could have came out on Atari or
yeah.
basic Nintendo,
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
yet kids are still playing it on PlayStation
That
5
and
right now.
that and Roblox.
Roblox, same thing. Yeah, but it's like I got to sit here and watch them play Minecraft, and I'm like, what? This? You're a blocked character.
Yeah,
There's
no.
no. What the?
It's like it's like the simple things that are, but it took like higher technology to make it like look cool. And so the fact that the graphics are better, I don't know. Didn't we used to have a Cubert? Cubert was a game back in the day. He was cute, wasn't he?
I didn't play Cubert. I
You
don't
didn't
know.
play Cubert? Oh, I think he has his
I
name.
really only played sports games, and
No, I'm with you.
yeah.
That and yeah, sports games are probably about all I played. Becky and I, we used to play Simpsons Road Rage. It was a car game that I think that's where Becky learned how to drive. But I think that's why she enjoyed it, because she liked running people over so much.
Oh, did you ever
Um,
play Paperboy?
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that was a good game.
100. Those Nintendo games, I think back in the day you played every game on Nintendo, not just sports.
You know what game I didn't get into though? I did not get into Zelda.
Oh, well,
I didn't get into
I didn't
that.
get into it, but I played it.
Yeah. Did you play any did you have a Sega? Did you ever play
I did.
Sega?
I did.
See, I never had a Sega, but I'd go play Sega with so you got into Sonic a little bit or no?
A little bit of Sonic, but that's where I started playing football.
Yeah.
Because Bill Walsh's football back in the day.
And that
Before they,
triple option in Bill Walsh college football was amazing.
yes, it was.
And
Yes, it was.
I believe also in Bill Walsh college football the onside kick was glitched in Bill Walsh.
Really? He
Yeah,
could get it all the time?
you could get it all the time. But Bill Walsh football didn't he coached at college, he coached at Stanford, didn't he?
Yes.
So Stanford on that game was like really good, even though they weren't really good.
I don't.
If I
Yeah, I
remember right.
don't. I mean, I don't know. I was always Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommy Frazier was pretty good on that game.
Yeah.
I mean, number 15, because they didn't have NIL back then.
So, at what point did we start changing the names? And I know
Oh,
you and I both bought extra things to download for naming.
Oh, yeah, I would name them right away. I would get the game right away and start naming things. And I would go.
I'm talking like, what year did you start doing that?
I don't even know. Probably. I don't remember when it became an option on the game, to be honest with you. But it would have had to been. It would have had to been the early 2000s.
Really?
I feel like I was.
I was thinking like late 90s.
I mean, it could have been 99, 98, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
I feel like I did it a lot more when I was playing a lot before I got married and was living on my own in Kansas, in Kansas City, or in Olathe, I should say, because I wouldn't do anything but watch sports and play PlayStation 12 hours a night and go to work. This was before Becky started living at the house and telling me what I had to do.
Before you were married.
Before I was married.
Correct.
Well,
state that for
correct. Yes, before I got married, you put a good boss to it.
The people that are out there that might slander you.
It's true. They can slander me all the way they want.
They were living together and she was in America.
No.
No, they weren't. They got married, people.
No, she hated that apartment, though.
That was a rough apartment.
It wasn't in a rough part of town, but it was a rough apartment.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. It was cheap, though.
It was cheap. It was cool, though. It was good. Good for you. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had neighbors that liked to get high, and there wasn't very much insulation between the walls and the floor, so we would get high. I've never been so hungry in my life in that apartment. Like, Becky and I would honestly, before we realized what it was, like, we would look back and be like, man, we were always wanting to go get something to eat and snack. And literally, and then once we started seeing the billows of smoke coming out of these people's apartments, we're like, oh, that might be why. And then that's the apartment we had a drug bust in, too. That was pretty sweet. They were looking for somebody we had an FBI raid there.
Wow.
So that was one fun morning. All these FBI people rolling up and I was on floor 3 of the apartment building, and someone down in the bottom basement, they were looking for somebody, and he was in there, and they had it all surrounded. I was like, okay, well, looks like I'm not leaving my apartment anytime soon. Guess I'll call work and say, hey, there's FBI. It was like everywhere. So that was interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah. But other than that, the apartment was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. It's still there to this day. You can go rent an apartment there. Yeah. I take the kids when we drive through there and be like, this is where mom and dad used to live. They're like,
yeah.
Start judging us.
Yeah, so, that was good. Yeah. I don't think I might have stayed with you once there.
Did you ever visit us in that second apartment we had in Kansas City?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you did.
Yeah, there was a lot that happened in that apartment.
I don't remember. Was there?
Uh-huh. Yeah. We apartment sat for you one weekend, and things got a little colorful. Didn't Nate live with you in the second apartment for a little bit?
For a little bit.
Yeah. It got a little colorful in that apartment. We have some memories there. We have some memories.
Yeah. It feels like those have never gone back to me before.
There's a statute of limitations that hasn't expired yet, so we can't tell you.
Yeah, okay.
We can't tell you what we did to your bed and your pillow.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing I burn them every month. You remember the fire department being called on the apartment we lived in Lincoln? Because we thought, because you were asleep, weren't you?
Yeah.
And we thought the apartment was on fire, and it was just our neighbor below us who didn't take off the plastic when they turned on the lamp, and it started a little fire.
Yeah. That was a nice apartment for a little 3-bedroom little jobby.
It was huge.
It was huge, yeah. That living room was huge.
Yeah, remember how we like sectioned it off and had like that computer area, and then we had
Little
the living
workstation.
room. Yeah, the
Mhm.
little workstation. I remember when we first moved in there, we were Joey and Chandler, and we just had two recliners in the middle
Mhm.
because Becky went back to school for her last few weeks. Because we moved there Thanksgiving weekend, and then she graduated in December, so she had to go back to Mid America and live in the. She lived illegally with Lisa on campus in the dorms because I don't think she was supposed to be living there.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
And then Becky put a kibosh to it.
Yeah, but she still, you had you had the spare bedroom for your man cave, and we would sit across the hall and play. This was before you played video games online with each other, and we would play
Correct.
our own video games in our rooms, separate rooms across the hall from each other, and yell at each other. She'd get so mad at us sometimes. And then there were times where you wouldn't listen to her, and she'd be hungry, and she's like, I'm hungry,
Yep.
and you wouldn't listen. And so Becky and I would go out to eat because you were just like, nope, I'm playing. So
Yeah.
those were
Well,
our Taco John dates that Becky and I went on.
taco wands.
Yep.
We're as
And
close.
kudos to Taco John's. They kind of went viral on social media the last couple of weeks when the SNAP benefits ended. Taco John's was given free. I know a lot of places were doing this, and so
Yeah.
kudos to a lot of different places. But Taco John's, I saw a couple posts that people were reposting because I think it was in Nebraska that the Taco John's in Nebraska were giving away free meals to people that needed to eat. So I would have loved to have been there.
Um. We remember Nick Maestas, right? Maestas, is that how you say
Maestas.
Maestas.
Yep.
He owns the restaurant. He started collecting and
He
doing stuff
started
for
a little
people. Yeah,
food
a
pantry
food
deal.
can. Yeah, and
But he was
kind of.
also doing free tacos, a free taco too. So
Yeah, he was doing a lot of stuff.
he does a lot of stuff. Nick
He
Maestas
does.
he's
He
killing it with
does.
Muchachos. Is that the name of it?
Muchachos, yes.
So kudos to you, Maestas. I only know him as Maestas. I didn't know his
Maestas.
first name for probably 2 or 3 years. He was just Maestas to us, and um, he, man, the I got some memories with that kid too. Yeah. So yeah, Nick was friends with my sister's first husband, RJ,
Yeah,
and so
they
that
grew
was.
up together, right? Or do they just know each other from
I think that they
college?
grew up together, but then they went to college together, and things got crazy. And then Nick was living on his own, and so even when Beth and RJ weren't around, I started hanging out with Maestas and my roommate Charisse at the time. We started hanging out all together, and yeah, I got sick because of a party at Maestas's house one night. Yeah,
Is that the house? Well, I remember one house. Didn't he live, or didn't they live at like 48th Street, somewhere off 48th at one point?
when they had the house and there was like 5 guys living there, and
Yeah, and that
yeah,
driveway was like the size of like nothing, and
yeah.
like the fence was like right up against the house.
You scraped your side of your
You said your
mirrors as you
mirrors.
drove
No,
through.
yeah.
Yeah,
I used to drive past that a lot when I went to work or lunch at the
yeah.
at the hospital. So
I don't
I know.
did Nick live there? He might have. He probably did. But
I
yeah,
don't
that's when Sean Yost lived there too.
know. Okay.
Sean, that's when I would go. Sean lived there. RJ lived there. Yeah, so Mace's probably lived there. Yeah,
I didn't realize that Sean Yost lived there too.
they had a pool table in the dining room.
Well, that makes sense. There's a bunch of
Yeah, it
guys.
was a huge bachelor pad. It was crazy. And then Sean put up a batting cage in the basement. Put up and we used it as a golf hitting bay as well as a batting
Before,
cage.
yeah.
So we would soft toss softball in softball season, and then we would put the mat down and hit golf balls in golf season. So yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. I live by that house, and then my office right now is like a block away from Nate's old place where we went, where we where Nick went through the ceiling. So
yeah, yeah.
it's only a couple blocks away now.
It's crazy.
So
So well, cool. We've
memories,
talked about a lot of memories. Let's get into some sports for a little bit.
sports ball.
I want to say this and just give a little disclaimer to our last two guests that have come on. Um, Kudos for you guys for coming on when you have inferior teams
Wow.
to try and talk to me, a Bronco fan who's who's tries to be proud about it, but also I try to be respectful, but I'm going to go a little bit prideful tonight. But I just want to say thank you to Josh and Cassie for coming in with your fandom. You guys are legacy fans, as Cassie mentioned. You're lifers. You're not going to go off the bandwagon for your team, and I respect that. I tip my cap to you. And right now, my team's better. And so I appreciate you coming on and taking the wrath of your team losing as you came on and picked games with us and tried to talk trash to me and my Broncos. And just to clarify, before we get into the games this week, Cassie mentioned, we're tied at last week with 9 million teams in the NFL. No, it's not true. Okay. There are two teams at the top that are tied for the best record of the NFL, and it is the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. But the Denver Broncos are at the top of that list, and that's it. That's what it is. So there's two teams, not a million. There are two teams, and the Denver Broncos are one of them. So for those of you that don't know, we're recording this on Sunday night tonight. The Chiefs have fallen. Andy Reid's record coming off of bye has taken a hit. Denver's home winning streak has not. And Denver surpassed the Kansas City Chiefs. And Denver is continuing to lead the NFL as they win yet another game, 22-19, over the Kansas City Chiefs. And we are so glad that Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos are 6-0, 8 straight wins, 6-0 at home, 8 straight wins, 9-2 on the year. Come on, playoffs. Let's get there.
I was going to say, playoffs better get here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys need a loss before you get to the playoffs?
No, I'm not going to ascribe to that philosophy. I never have.
Okay.
You can have a close win, and I think Denver's had those where, you guys talk about this as Husker fans. These
single point losses.
It's a moral
digits.
victory. Moral victory. No,
I've never thought of it as
no, you haven't. You haven't. I don't want to throw you in. No, there's no such thing as moral victory in sports. You win or you lose. Just like Herm Edwards said, we play to win the games. We don't care if it's 10-9 or 9-7 or 22-16 or whatever it is, or 96-3. We don't care what the scoreboard says. All we care is that if the scoreboard says our team wins. And right now, my team's winning, and I'm thankful for that. So, number one feels very good right now.
Well, enjoy it while you can.
I will. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done. I'll go back to being respectful.
It was funny. I was.
Did I get any text from her today to you?
She sent me 2 text messages. They were just gifts. They weren't really any apologetic long emails or anything. She sent me a gift that says touche, and then I sent a laughing emoji, and then she says, "Is this hell?" And I said, "It might be missing the playoffs."
Yeah.
So, and she said, "Yeah, I know," which was funny because Josh and I were talking about that episode from last week. Josh was over at my house doing some vinyl work on my windows for privacy vinyl on my windows, and we were talking. Josh just goes, "Man, the best part about that episode was Cassie talking about, her rebellious days and her just going to be a Raiders fan." And it's like, take that, parents. It's like, that's the worst thing you can do is go against your parents' favorite teams. It's that was kind of funny. And I think about that. I'm like, yeah, if that's the worst thing a kid ever does, that's probably pretty good. So, but yeah, no, she didn't have anything a lot to say. A lot of gifts, but
and that's fine. I got a message today from somebody who never commented for almost 20 years about these games, and I got a message today that at the end of the message said, "Good win today."
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It was there. It was there for the taking. Will Lutz didn't screw it up, so
yeah, it was. I didn't get to see any of it, so that's the thing. People don't realize this about me. They ask me every week. I get a text: "Are you watching the Broncos? Are you watch?" No, I can't watch the Broncos, so I don't get to see many games. I don't watch a lot of live sports anymore. Here's the thing: this is true. I know we're running a little bit, but it doesn't
you're
matter.
good.
It's
You're
our
good.
podcast.
Yeah, we can go 9 hours if we want.
The Huskers and the Broncos. This has been probably 7 or 8 years ago, where they just really it really got to me where I was realizing I was investing too much personal energy in what happened with the Huskers or the Broncos. And I just decided, I said, I'm done. I'm done. I will turn them off. I won't watch them. I'm not going to let this ruin my time with my family, with my kids. And I'm not going to feel bad anymore for
Yeah.
how my teams play. And so now, yeah, I don't watch much live sports, and that's for various reasons, but I just don't. I'll watch the score, and if they lose, they lose. If they win, they win, and that's really how I feel. I'm getting a little crazy tonight just because I've kind of been prodded the last couple weeks, and that's okay. It's all fun and games. But it's nice when your team's winning. You get to enjoy it, and we're enjoying it as Bronco fans right now.
Yeah. Enjoy it while I live vicariously through you guys because Cowboys are hot garbage sometimes, most of the time. So
Well, you still got a chance to watch them tomorrow and see how they do. And
I think I'm actually going to watch that with Josh since he's a Raiders fan.
nice, nice. And so we're
So
gonna pick their game for next week tonight as well, just because we can, and that's what we're gonna do. But let's jump into it if you're all right with that.
yeah, let's go. How are we doing on
Oh,
picks?
that's right.
Yeah,
So
well,
we caught everything up, and here's where we're at. If you're betting games that we're picking, stop. Here's your asterisk.
yeah.
Here's your gambling tip. Do not pick the games we pick, or pick opposite of what Justin picks, because Justin is struggling.
He's really bad.
So we've picked games for 4 weeks now, and in those 4 weeks, Justin's overall record is 6 wins and 13 losses. So if you're picking games with Justin, please stop, and please spend the money on your food and your groceries for your family, not on your gambling addiction, because you're not winning. So
Yeah, not
Justin,
doing well.
you need a 4-in-1 week. Okay, you need a 4-in-1 week. I don't have much room to talk. My overall record is 9-10. So if you're betting games with me, you're still losing, but you're almost breaking even. And if you have picking games with our guest celebrity pickers, Josh, and Cassie, they are 7-8. So
Ooh.
one under, just like I am.
Start listening to them.
But kudos to Cassie. Shout out to Cassie. Last week she went 4-1, and her only loss.
Yep.
Yeah,
we already got that.
She deserved that one. So
jeez.
Yeah, there you go, Cassie. Good job though, 4-1. Yeah. If you would pick a winner and join the good side, you'd be fine. But
yeah,
Chiefs Kingdom, your little song is not being played tonight because Chiefs Kingdom is mourning.
It's like they lost their leader.
Yep, for sure. Well, let's jump into it. Let's jump into college first. This week we picked the biggest point spread of the week. This is the part of the season in college football. This is college football week 13. And this is when the SEC starts to play their non-conference games, and so we get some of these lopsided games. And so the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs are playing the University of Charlotte.
Duh.
And Georgia is favored by 44.5 points.
Jeez.
44.5 points. So, Justin, who you got? Georgia or Charlotte?
Is it at Georgia?
It's at Georgia.
I figured it was. It's not a neutral site game.
No.
They're not playing it.
It's between
in Atlanta.
the hedges in Athens.
Between the hedges. I don't know. Georgia had a pretty tough. No, they didn't. I said Texas didn't really do anything to them. It just kind of went over them. Let's. Ooh, you said how much? 45?
44.5, yeah.
Ooh. They're not going to cover that. I mean, they're going to win, but they're not going to cover. I don't think they cover that.
So you're going Charlotte in the points.
Yeah, Charlotte in the points.
Well, I had already typed it in. I'm going Georgia because I think it's gonna be 46-point win.
46-point win.
I think they're gonna win 49-3.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's plausible.
So I'm going Georgia.
All right. Sounds
So
good.
I asked Justin to pull this up as we were talking pre-show because I saw these posts on social media of the bottom 25 teams. The top 25 rankings, but then the bottom 25 rankings, and they're bad. Okay. And two of my former teams I've cheered for and followed are on this bottom list. They both have the same initials, and they both have the same color scheme and all the things, but
they should just merge into one program.
They probably should. It might be better for them. I don't know, but it's kind of far away from each other.
They could pick a place in the middle.
And I just want to say this because I still follow.
Idaho needs a good college team.
They have Boise State.
Sure.
They're not. They're 500 right now. But anyway.
Yeah, anyway, sorry.
So Oklahoma State and Oregon State are both on this bottom 25 list. Oklahoma State is number 2, so that means they're the second worst team in college football. Oklahoma State is playing in the Big 12 against the Fighting Scott Frosts, and the Fighting Scott Frost coming off the loss last week to Texas Tech are favored against Oklahoma State by 13.5. So I guess what I was saying about these two teams is, one, I wish I could have put in my resume for their coaching jobs.
Yeah, you should have done that when you were on campus.
Yeah.
Should have just dropped it off, slid it underneath the door.
But number 2, I did watch Oregon State. I watched some live football this week, and I will tell you this, it's really not fun to watch bad football. And I watched Oregon State play this week, and that was bad football against Tulsa, and it was hard to watch. But Oklahoma State is who we're talking about. The Cowboys of Stillwater going into Central Florida in the Fighting Scott Frosts.
Who can't decide on a quarterback right now, by the way.
No,
not good right now. But what's the point spread?
13.5.
Boo! I think I'm gonna pick. I'll pick the Fighting Scott Frost.
Oh.
And they'll cover that.
Okay.
Oklahoma State is not good.
They're not good.
They're not good.
They're bad. I'm going with you. I agree on it. Let's
only because it's at home.
Yeah.
If it was on the road, it'd be a different story.
The Fighting Scott Frost win 28-10 and cover the spread.
Does Oregon State even play this weekend? I don't know. You weren't picking them this week, were you?
I did not pick them this week.
Yeah, but I don't.
Last week they lost to Sam Houston State.
Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Last week, because two of my sons went to that game.
Oh, really?
Person. Yeah. This week they lost to Tulsa yesterday. So, let me see real quick. Are you pulling it up? I can't.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think they played. I think they have a bye week.
Okay.
Week 13 bye week. I don't know. When you're in a conference of 2, it's really hard.
They're not 2 anymore. Come on.
Well, I mean, what are they?
They're like 8.
What conference 10. Are they? They actually. Oh yeah, they. They're off because they're off until they play Washington State.
Yeah, so they don't play this week.
It's too bad.
So we don't need to worry about them. But we have we picked that one. Let's go to the NFL. Let's jump to the NFL. We're picking. I didn't want to pick big point spreads here, so we picked a couple games. One game is the game. There's not a point spread right now because both teams are playing right now or playing tomorrow. But
we're just gonna do pick'ems. It's conference.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the first game though we're gonna pick is the Steelers at the Chicago Bears. Two teams that are surprisingly doing.
The Bears just keep on winning. The teams keep on kicking off to the returner, and the returner takes the ball back and gets them in a spot, and they have to go like 20 yards to win. It's crazy.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the two quarterbacks in this game. The Steelers are here's the thing about the Steelers. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin just figures out a way to get the job done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of annoying. The Steelers to me, the Steelers are the annoying team that just won't quit. And the Bears.
The Bears.
Caleb Williams, USC.
Oklahoma. No. Where else was he? Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that where Lincoln Riley came from? Was Oklahoma? Yeah.
Yeah. But the Bears are favored at home by 3 points against the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron got hurt today.
Ooh. Okay,
This is
well,
non-throwing hand, so whatever.
Here I'm gonna pick first since I made you pick the last two first. I'm gonna go
Okay.
Bears to win this game, but
Where's it at?
It's in Chicago, so 3 points is just a home field advantage pick. It's really a pick 'em game. 3-point favorite Bears. Steelers. Bears and Steelers. Who you got?
You said Bears with the 3 points?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Steelers. They don't have a defense, but somehow I think it's going to be a shootout. And Aaron will come up with something. So we're going Steelers.
Going Steelers. Okay. Come on. All right. Next game, we're just going pick them on the next game too because their point spreads aren't there. The Eagles versus the Cowgirls. The Eagles at the Cowgirls.
Well, Cowboys.
Okay.
They have to win. They're gonna go into that. That's gonna be their second win in a row.
Because they're gonna win tomorrow night.
They're gonna win tomorrow night, even though this doesn't come out until later. So the Cowboys have won since you listened to this. We're a little early now on our recordings, but yeah, I think Cowboys will have 2 in a row, and then I think that could. I don't know. They struggle. Their defense is not good, but yeah, I'll go Cowboys.
Okay, I'm going Eagles just because the Eagles are better.
Well, that's fair.
And that's the only reason. Because I'm not doing that just to be against Justin. The Eagles are just better. They just are.
So well, that's fair. 100%.
That's what we're doing. Last game of the week, we got the game that of all of these 5 that we care about. It's because the Broncos, who are in first place in the NFL and in the AFC West, are just not playing next week. So we have no reason to watch the NFL next week.
Take a week off of viewing.
So unlike the Chiefs who lose on their bye week, Denver will continue to stay.
I thought you were taking the high road.
Well, I said after tonight. I'm taking the high road.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to soak this one up a little bit. Nebraska is going to Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, to play the Penn State Nittany Lions.
The Nittany Lions.
And Penn State, who fired James Franklin, are paying James Franklin $53 million to not coach. They are realizing they are still Penn State and they still can win games. They're still a decent football team, and they're showing that in the last couple of weeks.
They did.
But they're favored by 9.5 points.
This seems really high. I mean, by the time the game comes around, it's going to be lower than that. But I don't know. I mean, I know Nebraska doesn't play well on the road. And
is it going to be a whiteout?
I mean, I don't think they have it planned as a whiteout because I think they plan out their whiteout games.
Okay.
I think Penn State does. It is going to be a night game, so that'll be difficult.
Is Nebraska overlooking Penn State to focus on Iowa?
No, No, because I think Nebraska, they thought going into this year that Penn State was going to be a tough road game, anyways. Like, even a lot of people were picking that Penn State would be one of those losses. They still have a good defense. Their running attack is good in Nebraska right now. They can't stop the run, so I don't know. I mean, Nebraska's going to win by 10, but it's going to be a tough game.
That's a 20-point swing from the spread right now.
Yep, I'll take it. I'm there. I got it. I mean,
I don't think
it's a tough environment to go play in.
Yeah.
But having a road game going out to UCLA is helpful. Having a bye week before is helpful.
So if Nebraska wins these last two games,
we're gonna talk.
They're 9-3, yeah.
Yeah. They'll be 9-3.
9-3 if they win these last two games. That doesn't put them in the Big Ten title game.
No, you're gonna have two undefeated. Indiana and Ohio State will be.
Ohio State, yeah, those two will be in the Big Ten title game. But
playing for a 1 seed.
Can Nebraska get into, if they win these next two games at 9-3? What does that do for Nebraska football?
Well, Nebraska football locally or Nebraska football nationally?
Both.
Well, nationally, it keeps Matt Rule's streak of turning teams around, from where they were from a record standpoint, because that's all they ever talk about is like, okay, his third year he won 10 games or 9 games or whatever. So nationally,
if they win the bowl game, he'll be at 10 wins.
Well, 100%, yeah. So locally, I think just the team itself in its third year, winning 9 games, I think you're not a program right now that's winning 10 or 11 games. I think the narrative that most coaches are getting fired because they're not going to win 10 games is crazy, when the stats will tell you that it's not every coach can win 10 games. It's not possible. So to use that as a guideline of where you think you are as a program, I think is unrealistic nowadays. I think 8-9 wins is,
a successful season.
Yeah. I mean, I think anything where Nebraska was at before, winning 4, 5, 6 games, and you've increased that every year.
Here's the reality about football landscape nationally.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't watch stuff, so I don't know if anybody's saying this or not, but when you think about college basketball, a good season is you dominate your non-conference and you go 500 in your conference for big schools.
Correct.
Right? So if they go 500 in their conference, they get into the tournament, they could get to 20 wins, and that's a good season.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it in college football landscape right now with all these major conferences, if you dominate your non-conference and you go 500 in conference,
it's bad.
But but it's the same. You're at 8-4. You're at 9-3. That's a good season.
Pretty much now with the college football playoff, you lose 2 games in your conference, you're done.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Even with the expanded play, yeah, I know. Well, that's why it's unreal. That's why it's unrealistic about how coaches are just being let go, and now everybody's got this revenue money now that they're just like, oh, we'll just get rid of them because we have money, we can go get a new coach, and that's why you've seen all these places firing coaches or getting rid of them now. I think that's all going to level out here in the next few years, because this influx of new money's coming in. I mean, the Big Ten's talking about signing some big $1 billion deal from a private equity kind of thing. I don't even know what the whole details are. It's not really open about what they're actually doing and how it's going to look or whatever. But you have teams like Michigan who are like, no, I don't want to do this because it's going to give money to a school that doesn't even, they don't feel like it's fair. Long story short, I think the influx of new money coming in, because it's legal to pay all these things now, supposedly. Like, we can't, geez, kids were getting in trouble for just taking a ham sandwich, and now they can own a sandwich shop.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's just I think if as long as you're I think a lot of times the optics are if you should be in the running to hopefully get to a championship game now. Um, I think, yeah, Nebraska in this sense, you keep on improving in the win column after years of not winning. It's only improving what's going on around here, and then the coaching, right? I mean, there's still some coaching mistakes that are happening from the head coach from little things, but you see some improvements um, across the board. I mean, just special teams this year has just been crazy. Just in 1 year, they've flipped it around, and special teams were bad last year.
Yeah.
Quarterback play, we'll see what our quarterback does next 2 games. We'll see if we can get to 9 games with the backup quarterback who's a freshman. I think you'll have a lot of things to look at too. So,
Well, and I think when you have coaches like Matt Rule and Dana Holgerson who should be able to I'm not going to say develop players because that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. When you can take freshman quarterbacks, whatever, and adjust, like there's that key word for coaching
yeah,
again. You adjust your game plan to make them successful. That's huge.
yeah,
When your backup quarterback doesn't throw an incomplete pass till the fourth quarter, I don't care if you're Iowa, I don't care if you're Oregon State. That's a good win.
yeah.
And
No, I agree.
that's huge for this guy. And I think here's where I go. We haven't finished picks, but I don't think Nebraska's going to win by 10. I think Nebraska covers the points, and I don't think they get blown out. I think they go into Happy Valley, and it's a game. It's competitive.
Yeah,
And that, from a local standpoint, hopefully in Lincoln, but also from a national standpoint, I know he just signed his contract, but if Matt Rule goes 9-3, Matt Rule's going to Penn State.
what?
Hot take right
No,
here.
no.
No, his press conference was pretty family oriented, but
Yeah, his if you haven't, he has some quotes and stuff that he talks about because he has his own podcast now.
I saw that. Yeah,
So there's some clips on there of him talking about what it really is, and yeah, I mean he's integrated around. He wants to be around, and there's been coaches in the past,
I know.
even ones that grew up in Nebraska, didn't want to be out and about in Nebraska, which is interesting. So,
Yeah. Well,
but
Nebraska. We both picked Nebraska for different reasons, and that's all right. So there we have it. Well, how do you what do you got going these next 3 days?
well, kids and I are just hanging out. Becky's taking a little mini vacay from us. She's going to be hanging out with her parents this week, since she's got a little break from therapy. Um, Heading into Thanksgiving week, so her therapy schedule is kind of, or 2 weeks, I guess. We're a week and a half away from Thanksgiving, so her therapy schedule is kind of off and on a little bit. So she's taking time to go hang out with her parents. So the kids and I will be hanging out. So hopefully we'll keep the house in order, and maybe the kids will take care of me and make me dinner every night. Probably not. They'll
Probably
probably
not.
take me. They'll probably take me somewhere and make me use my money. So, but other than that, just work and. Oh, I guess the kids. Well, I'll have a Saturday all by myself because kids will be gone at churches at the youth fall retreat. So, oh, and Friday night I'm going to uh, a banquet thing called No Shave November, or it's No Shave Nebraska. They provide families who've gone through medical stuff, and Becky was a recipient a few years ago, and so we've been going and supporting when we can. So I'm going to be doing that. End up going solo. Might have to fly you out and go with me.
Hey, I can do that.
So
That'd be
yeah,
all right.
I'll send my jet
Okay,
as long as you bring a pizza.
sounds good. Little
So,
Caesars.
what Little Caesars?
That's what I can afford.
Well, no, I mean decent pizza. It's better than what it used to be.
That's true.
What about you? What you got going on this coming weekend or
I'm
week?
going to work again. So
Yeah,
I'm
all
going to
week,
work.
right?
I'm studying for my other health and life license, and um, so we got that happening. This week is the last full week for my wife and some of the kids for school, and then they get the break for Thanksgiving. So we're having a big. We'll talk about it next week, I'm sure. We're having some Thanksgiving fun going on with our family. So looking forward to that. But yeah, just work. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, it sounds good to say to be at work, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We went and spent some time with some in-laws, my in-laws tonight, not some in-laws, my
Somehow
in-laws.
you're like, we picked random in-laws. We hung out with them. Are you guys in-laws? We're hanging out with you.
My father-in-law said, "Yeah, I heard you got a place to show up to every day now." I said, that feels good to say. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it'll be good. It's answered prayers for sure, man.
Yep.
For
Yep.
sure. So,
Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. And for all of you tuning in, I hope you have a great week and go Broncos. But here's to a lack of irrelevant age news. We'll see you next time.
see ya.